Blessings and greetings, my brothers and sisters. I'm Christopher French. I choose to do this little message here in black and white. However, still promoting my party, People's National Party. I am the councillor caretaker for the Alexandria division here in St. Anne Southwest. I kind of decided to share some information as it relates to a number of things. I've always wanted to do a little video sharing some things, some information. I want to kind of topicalize this message with what I call representation. Very often it is kind of misunderstood what it means to represent a group of people, represent Jamaica, represent the people in the community. We have different levels of representation, and so because of the different levels of representation, it calls for different levels of leadership or categories of leadership in the community. You have the pastor, you have the JP, you have the community-based organization representatives, you have the school, PTA, you have the political organization who represents pretty much everything. Now, I want to kind of share something very, very important to us. As I will offer myself to be the caretaker, the councillor rather, for the Alexandria division in the next local government election, it is very, very important to understand something. Let me see. I'm reading from this document, and it is the roles and the responsibilities of the councillor, the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development. I want you to listen to this part, the community development part, right? But let me race on to the structure of this organization. Your local authority has two arms, the political and the administrative. The political arm is made up of the councillors, headed by the mayor who chairs the council, and it is responsible for determining policies. The administrative arm, headed by the manager who advises the administrative arm of the council, is also the secretary to the council, and therefore is called the secretary manager, except in the case of the Kingston and St. Andrew Corporation, where this person is called the town clerk, and the Portmore Municipal Council, where this person is called the chief administrative officer. Very, very important to understand the administrations of government, right? Before we get to the administration of government, we do what is called political campaigning. Whether we are in government or we are in opposition, we do what is called political campaigning. We have different parties have different ways of doing their political work. The political work in a party leads to the majority electing that organization, that party, or a political party into governance, which deals with the administration of the country's affairs. One prime minister made it clear that he was voted in by the people of Jamaica to look about the lives and the livelihood of the people, right? And so we have the Westminster system, where the government is elected into power by the majority. It's a first past the post system. The government is elected into operation by the majority. Now, different parties have their ways or their pillars of organization, and I can name a few of any organizational pillar. Outreach is where, let us use for example the church. The church does outreaching. it does outreaching through the different ministries. But one familiar one is Crusade, right? Goes out and it tries to get in souls to the kingdom of God. After that is done, we go into a mode of we call it recruiting. Recruiting means to get persons to a level to be a part of the organization by confessing, right? Recruit. So after you talk to the person, right, you make that person to a convert. After that is done, what we do is that we enumerate. Or the political term is the biblical term is baptize. Once that person is baptized, that person becomes a member. So it is outreach, recruit, enumerate, and party group member, whichever party that is. I want to kind of touch on the enumeration aspect of it. Persons are enumerated into the political system. It means that you're a part of the body, or part of the body of an organization, right? And the organization is the church, or it is the political organization, whichever organization in the community that you want to refer to. Now, in politics, we have what is called the Electoral Office of Jamaica. And the Electoral Office of Jamaica is one that qualifies you to vote for the party that did the outreaching, that did the recruiting, that enumerated you and made you a party group member, right? Now, not only that, but gives you an opportunity to be a part of a system. I don't want to mix this up because I don't want to sound like I'm preaching. I don't want to mix this up with the church thing. So I want to go straight politics now. Now, the political organization is responsible to enumerate you, take you to the EOJ for enumeration, help you to get your visits, the 3 visits, you get your ID, and then they know you are part of the political organization. It's a little more information than that, and the Representation of the People's Act will give you more information, right? And so what happens at that process? It gives you that authority to say that, you know what, I'm a Jamaican through my voter's card, identification card. Because it's called EOJ, Electoral Office of Jamaica, people often kind of mix it up with that, I don't want my ID because I now vote for he, she, or the old lady. We can all say no, that other persons during this COVID, the demand for your ID is higher than any time at all. Whether you were out on the road during the curfew and you wanted to present your ID, or you're in trouble with the law that you have to present your ID, or you have some banking information, you have some banking business that you have to do, or any other business that you will need your ID. Not everybody will have their driver's license to run to, or their passports to run to, but you will have the opportunity to have your electorate voter's card. Now, why wouldn't I want to get my ID card? A few years ago, the government said, you know what, we're going to renew these cards because the pictures on these cards don't really make no sense no more, so we're going to change them. And they changed them. They're offering to change them. People say, oh, me now vote. Like, it doesn't matter if you want to vote or not. It is very, very important to have your identification card. It is very, very important to have. Now, we're in a meeting this evening with the Electoral Office of the constituency, and to hear that we have 4,000 or 6,000 or 7,000 cards in the office not collected from phase 1 up to phase 43, well, phase 42 that we are in now. Persons came, applied, or somebody took them to the EOJ for them to get their ID, got their visits, and they're now on the some of you left where you're living, like where you work, to come down to be visited to get your ID card, and now your ID card is there for free and you don't want to pick it up. The information that we are assisting persons with is to get your ID cards. You may not need it today, You may not need it tomorrow, but the time when you need it, I hope it's not a Sunday morning. I hope it's not a Monday morning. I hope it's not a Sunday or Saturday morning when you will have to wake up or call the returning officer or the assistant returning officer to say, oh, can I have a letter to say when your ID card is at the office, or the opportunity to go pick up your ID card. Because how is it that you would have gone through all the process of, availing yourself to be reached out to, recruited, enumerated, and then you don't have your ID card? Oh no, man. No, I don't want to go into the whole system of voting and you must vote and you have to vote. No, you don't. I will always vote. It's very, very important that you take part in the political process of any country that you live. Very, very important. Now, I want to share something with you and then I'll leave you. Very, very important. As I will offer myself as a councillor for the Alexandra Division in the next election that is to be called by the government of Jamaica, I want to read to us because the information is going out there that because a certain member of parliament win, whether it be on our side or the other side, the council now get no money because no, that is foolishness. That is a lie. No, this document, like I said, it is the roles and responsibility of the council, the Ministry of Local Government and the Community Development. I want you to listen to me and I will take my very, very good time to read. The local authorities, officially known as the municipal corporation, are empowered to make bylaws, regulations, and rules for good governance of the parishes over which they have jurisdictions, the councillors that are voted in. Structure, role, and function of the local authority. The local authority are those entities at the local level through which the Department of Local Government carries out its function within the communities. These entities are the Kingston and St. Andrew Corporation, the KSSC, the Portmore Municipal Corporation, and the 12 council or the 12 parishes. St. Anne is a part of that 12. The specific role of the corporation include developing, managing, and maintaining infrastructure and public facilities such as parochial roads, water supplies, drains and gullies, parks, recreational centers, markets, abattoirs, ponds, cemetery, transport centers, public sanitary convenience, and public beaches. Provisions of the local services such as poor relief, public cleansing, public health, and street lighting. Regulatory powers in respect to building and planning approvals and development control, licensing of trades and businesses, street parking, and control of public vending. Coordinating interagency collaboration among non-government organizations, NGOs, and community-based organizations, CBOs, and other government agencies which operate in the parish and are engaged in the delivery of local services in or the local development. Support the national policy or development programs at the local level. Spearhead plans and initiatives for orderly, balanced, and sustainable development of the parish as a whole and the major towns in particular, and for the boosting of economic activity and local wealth creation within the parish. Structure. Your local authority has two arms. Remember, I read that earlier. The political and the administrative. The political arm is made up of the councillors headed by the mayor who chairs the council and is responsible for determining policies. The administrative arm headed by the manager who advises the administrative arm of the council is also the secretary to the council and is therefore called the secretary manager, except in the case of the KSAC, that's the Kingston and St. Andrew Corporation, where this person is called the town clerk, and the Portmore Municipal Corporation, where this person is called the Chief Administrative Officer. Don't get this wrong. The government will always be around, always be here. If we have 1.2 million people on the voters list and only 200,000 vote, one party will still win. You can't get rid of governance nowhere, no time in the world. Jesus himself submitted himself to governance in the Bible. I don't want to give us all the Bible verses because it's not Bible studies. I hear some people talking about Christians not supposed to be involved in politics. I don't think I want to even have a discussion with anybody that believes that Christians are not to be involved in politics. Jesus himself submitted himself to authority, to the law of the land, by setting an example of obeying those who. There were numerous times that Jesus was asked questions. And I remember one such time when he was asked, "Who do we pay tax to?" And he was given a coin, and he said, whose inscriptions are on these coins? To give to Caesar what is Caesar, and what to God is God. We will have to have the spirit of discerning to understand what are the things of God. No, I support governance. I support elections. I support the running of the country. Once the government is voted in, whether it's my party or it's not, I support governance. Support good governance. I'll always support good governance. And so you have one Christopher French here that is not only a comrade, but a socialist that believes in equality. I believe in opportunity for all. I believe in outreach. I believe in recruit. I believe in enumeration. And I believe in being a member of an organization. I believe in taking part in the political process. I believe in Jamaica. As I've read to you tonight, that the councillor is independent of the member of parliament, whoever he may be. Council gets its money. It's an organization, it's an arm of the government of Jamaica, elected by the people. So, like, I am running for councillor in the Alexandria division, has nothing to do with the member of parliament being Labour Right or PNP. It has to do with if I can garner the trust of the people to have their support, that at the eve of election, we can say that we have voted for somebody that understands what it means to represent the people of the community once he's elected or she's elected into office to serve. My brothers and sisters, thank you very much. We will definitely connect again. This was a bit lengthy, didn't plan for it, but I had to share it. Last but not least, go out and get your vaccine. It is very, very important. We need to return to normalcy. We will talk about this another time, another place, as it relates to, vaccine on a whole. But go there and get your vaccine. Over 6,000 cards are the electoral office to be picked up. The EOJ is doing a very, very good job. I must endorse the returning officer for doing the job that he has been doing. And we continue as political parties to support the returning office and the returning officer in his role, always asking us to educate our constituents, give the information. Like I said, representation. What does it mean? As I go out and I meet with persons across the constituency and division, empowerment is representation. I said one time on one of my posts that if I am afraid of empowering you, I don't have any power in the first place. Thank you very much, and we'll definitely connect again. All right? Thank you very much. And have yourself a wonderful, wonderful week with a great God. All right?